Star Citizen 3.13.1 has introduced a feature that a lot of people in the community has been looking forward to for a long time. The ability to let larger ships such as the 890 Jump and Hammerhead dock at station docking collars utilizing the ports. Now this is a neat feature, but it takes a little bit of getting used to as it's quite a bit different from how the rest of the ships work. So let's take a look at this feature, the HUD changes and indicators that you need to know about in order to dock your ship correctly. So first thing we're going to do is come up and request docking at a station. You can do this using the conventional method as shown here, or by targeting the station and lowering your landing gear.
Please proceed to assigned landing bay.
Docking request approved.
I prefer just hailing the station. So now as you can see, the docking collar is extending from the station, and there's a small holographic indicator showing where you should align your docking collar up with. This is great and all, but let's take a look at the HUD first real quick. A couple of things to notice here. First is you have a series of boxes that indicate where your door and the docking collar align. These are indicated here. The red one in the top left is the collar door. The center one is your docking collar in your ship. We'll take a look at how these operate in just a moment. But first, let's look at pitch, yaw, and roll. There are two key points on the screen to keep an eye out for. I've circled them here. In the very center and the bottom right, you're going to need to get all three of these dots lined up and turned green. As you can see, the roll is already green. I'm aligned at that point. The pitch and yaw are red, so there's still a little bit of work to be done. In order to make your life easier, you're going to want to slow your ship down a bit. I go ahead and scroll the mouse wheel down to give my ship a max velocity of 5 meters per second. Let's take a look at how that looks in real life. The goal now is going to be getting the three dots to go green and in alignment. After that, we can work on the squares. So you can see now, I've got the ship pretty close to alignment. The docking collar indicator shows that our ship is still too low, so I'm going to raise it up a little bit. You can see on the left-hand side, the station's indicator is moving up and down as I vertically move the ship. Now that we're vertically aligned with the station, we have the pitch, yaw, and roll in alignment. We need to move the ship forward or backwards to get your red docking indicator, the little red square on the left-hand side, closer in alignment with the center blue indicator. I'm going to move the ship forward slowly until the indicators begin to match and fine-tune adjustments along the way. If it makes it easier for you, feel free to switch to an external camera to get a better idea as for your alignment. You'll see here in a moment that the ship itself is on the correct plane, but I'm just a little bit too far back for a proper alignment. We'll continue moving forward a little bit before we move on our axis towards the collar. You see here that the actual alignment with the port itself is extremely close. Now it's time to move on the axis directly towards the collar. Begin very slow movements at this point. You don't want to move too quickly. If you haven't yet set your speed limiter, now is a good time. Switching to the external camera helped in my case. You can use the docking collar camera. Default key is 0 at this point if you want, but I find it just distracts me since there's no overlay on it. Once you get close enough, the station itself will pull you in as though it has magnetic couples on it. You'll see that in a moment.
Automated docking initiated. Docking complete. Engines inactive.
I went ahead and shut down the engines manually by tapping I at this point, just in case. It's still a new feature after all. So let's get out of our seat now, run over to the station, and take a look and see how the collar operates with the doors. There are some glitchy aspects to be aware of at this point. One thing to be aware of is as you enter and exit both ships, the Hammerhead and the 890, the outside door is the only one that has a lock on it. As you transit the threshold, you'll notice that there's a moment of 0G. I've clipped out of the ship a couple of times doing this and entered EVA, so be aware of that. To close the door, I go inside, hit the close, and run out the door quickly. But feel free to take a look and see if there's a way to close the door from the outside. Your mileage may vary. At this point, your ship is docked. As of the current patch on May 3rd, there's no way for me to store the ship once I dock it. I just need to wait for the station to impound it. At this point, I've never been able to restock or rearm the ship. Also, on occasion, the station will get bugged out and think that the collars are useful or not. The feature is still new. There's some bugs to work out, but it works pretty good. Enjoy your larger ships. I'm looking forward to future iterations. Take care.